In 1989, a future legend was born in Russia. A man that would revolutionize the fitness industry and create a movement so popular in the fitness community that it would lead to one of the most popular gym brands creating an entire company around it. The name was Aziz Shavershian. More popular under the name of Zyzz, he would become the leading source of one of the most popular movements in the fitness industry, the aesthetic movement. Aesthetic bodies, which are considered the most attractive body types, have been a growing trend in the past decades, and Zyzz was one of the leading sources for that. He embodied the lifestyle and confidence that eventually get associated with it, and Zyzz's lifestyle was pretty impressive and inspirational. He made a drastic change and made this movement so popular. But to understand Zyzz's story and his impact on the fitness community, we have to go back 34 years in time. On the 24th of March 1989, a legend was born. Aziz Shavershian, besides his older brother, who was born 3 years prior to that, was the typical child you would know. His father, a university lecturer, and his mother, a cardiologist, would give birth to two sons that they never thought would become the people they would become. Aziz, being a quite skinny but smart kid, was the captain of his school chess team. Since he was an easy target for bullies, by being what we would call a skinny nerd, he often got his lunch money stolen. To cope with the fact that he was bullied, he would go back to his room to play video games and forget about his reality, but that wouldn't be a long-term solution. Instead, there was something else. When his brother started going to the gym and Aziz saw the progress, it would inspire him to do the same. As their confidence grew, they would start to go to festivals and raves, which they would share on the rave forum. They started to develop this love for partying and the gym, and this would later lead to something known as the aesthetic lifestyle. What was amazing about Aziz's transformation was not only the physical transformation, but also the transformation in confidence, which would later inspire millions. Zyzz during his early years was most popular for his trolling, and he would keep that going for the rest of his life. As Zyzz became more and more into fitness, he switched from the rave forum to the bodybuilding forum, where he would set himself an incredible goal, which then led him to take PEDs very early on. He would start posting very often and play into this Zyzz character, which was very different from his normal personality. Zyzz deep inside was still an insecure and unconfident kid, but this character was what he played and showed to the public. With that character, he became even a bigger troll than before and a self-centered character that came with it. He attracted many people that loved him and many people that hated him. This is the story of many people who rose to fame. Andrew Tate, for example, was very extreme in his views, which led people to either hate him or love him, but in both cases people watched. They couldn't have a neutral opinion on him, which led his success, and Zyzz was the same. He played this character that people either hated or loved. His fame grew more and more, but with that came haters, and these haters would sometimes attack him in real life.
Zyzz, whatever I don't even know. I don't like your videos, you're ugly, okay?
Zyzz is just an ignorant steroid.
This led him to want to quit the whole online space, as he had enough of these people who faked it around him and the girls who gave him time just because he was famous. Although he made that promise, he would still appear on stage, on TV and other platforms because he realized the positive impact that he had on people. When you combine his trolling, improved confidence and improved physique, it's no wonder people looked at him and his progression. But the reason people loved him so much and he became such a god in the eyes of people is because he didn't do it to intimidate people, but to inspire them. His reason to keep going and to build his physique was to inspire the young men who were just like he used to be, and he became this role model to millions who wanted to be just like him. He knew he had an audience that watched him, and he chose the path of using that to have a positive impact on the world. Through his whole online career, he kept his integrity and remained honest, which is probably the most important thing an influencer can have, even if he made wrong decisions in the past. Everyone is human, and admitting and showing those mistakes is part of being authentic. One day when going to Thailand for a vacation, he passed away from heart failure in the sauna and never came back home. His brother had lost him and the world has lost its inspiration, but his legacy never died. In fact, he became even more popular after. People could learn from his mistakes and be inspired from his progress, and that led to one of the biggest brands we know today getting inspired by Aziz to get created. When Ben Francis created Gymshark in 2012, he didn't ever expect the giant Gymshark would become. It initially started with Ben joining the gym to pack on some muscle and build confidence after he realized he wouldn't make it in football. Before launching Gymshark, Ben developed two fitness applications, Fat Loss Abs Guide and iPhysique. While at university between 2010 and 2013, he worked for a Pizza Hut as a delivery boy, earning £5 an hour. He left 6 months after launching Gymshark. In 2012, aged 19, he launched Gymshark in his parents' garage with his school friend Lewis Morgan. The website initially sold fitness supplements. Unable to afford to buy stock or secure distribution deals with supplement suppliers, he began dropshipping supplies from other vendors, and it took him 6 weeks to make his first sale. Ben and Lewis realized that Gymshark would never become a big company because their margins were so low, so they had to find a way to increase their sales. One of the things that would change the whole company forever was a realization Ben had. He saw that nobody made the clothes that the fitness idols of people would wear, so they decided to make these clothes that those influencers wore. In 2013, it began designing and manufacturing its own fitness apparel. Initially, Francis manufactured the garments in his parents' garage on a made-to-sell basis using sewing machines and a screen printer he purchased with $1,000 of savings. The first influencer that they would get inspired by was Aziz Shavershian, who wore these stringers. As millions of people were big fans of him, they saw him as this legend or new god and people looked up to him. This also meant people wanted to be like him. Ben and Louis were making these shirts after they went to uni and after they delivered pizzas. As they made these shirts, they would after send them to their favorite influencers, and that actually worked really well. They then made this with much more fitness influencers, and so Gymshark became essentially the first one to do influencer marketing. In 2013, they organized an event where they invited many of these influencers, and this attracted the masses. People would burst into the expo to see their favorite fitness influencers. Gymshark took advantage of the expo to sell their new Lux tracksuit, and it became viral. In the first 30 minutes of it dropping, they made £30,000 in sales, and when Gymshark reached £250,000 in sale, both Ben and Louis decided to drop out of college. Gymshark sold clothes that would make people look better in the gym without having to look better, which motivated people to buy from them and go back to the gym.
We can make ourselves look better in the gym without actually looking better physically, then that's half the battle. And if we did that, then people would keep going back to the gym.
This way Gymshark provided clothes that people wanted to wear and marketed through people that people wanted to look like. In 2016, Gymshark was named the UK's fastest growing company in the Sunday Times Fast Track 100. In 2018, Gymshark moved from its office in Redditch to a new 42,000 square foot headquarters on Blythe Valley Business Park. In the same year, Gymshark made sales of £100 million. In 2019, the company opened a new 8,000 square foot office in Hong Kong. In August 2020, US private equity firm General Atlantic purchased a 21% stake in the company, which valued the company in excess of £1 billion. The company said that it would use the funding to further expand globally. Influencer marketing was already a thing before Gymshark, except that it wasn't with social media influencers, but with celebrities, and doing collabs with these celebrities was extremely expensive. So Gymshark decided to focus on the social media influencers that at the time were slowly growing. Influencers were ready to promote any brand for little money, so this was their golden opportunity. They started by doing this with one influencer. When Gymshark realized that it worked, they did it with another and another and another until they had this elite group of people all associated with the brand. The look they were going for was natural aesthetics or aesthetic physiques. They knew this was attractive to people and it would get them a lot of attention. All this brand started with an inspiration from Zyzz and would then grow to become one of the biggest, if not the biggest fitness brand on earth. Later, this whole aesthetic movement and lifestyle would become extremely popular with first Zyzz and then Gymshark and the people Gymshark promoted. The aesthetic lifestyle was all about going to the gym, partying and having fun, and that's especially what Zyzz promoted. Someone popular for this lifestyle was also Jeff Zyzz. With all these influences, aesthetic movements and the aesthetic lifestyle would become extremely popular.